This episode of Super Nanny is absolutely brutal.
I haven't touched your docking.
Well, I gave it to you. You're supposed to touch it. Really?
I'm not hurting you.
You are. You don't know because you're not me.
Hello, you gorgeous donuts. Super Nanny is a TV show where this woman attempts to fix broken families. And by broken families, I mean their children are so evil, they drive their parents into a deep state of depression. They get to a point where they're so desperate that they feel like the only fix is to go on national television and get this woman to help them. So let's see if Super Nanny can fix this family, because today we're watching what is known as the most iconic episode of Super Nanny. So the episode starts off with us getting introduced to the Cook family. They have the parents, Denise and Paul, and they have 3 kids, Megan, Gabriella and Erin, and they tell us that Megan is the biggest problem.
We really need Super Nanny. We're in a very dark place at the moment.
Just turn the lights on then, love. Sorry, that's a terrible pun.
Megan can be very angry.
No, Mum, get off me.
So disrespectful.
I just know when I have a child, it's going to be like this, but like times 10. I feel like I'm going to like raise the next dictator.
She will actually kick up and have a tantrum like a 2-year-old. I'm not hurting you.
You are. You don't know because you're not me.
To be fair, that is a fair point. How do you know that you're not hurting her? You can't feel what she feels. Point to Megan. How about we sort you out, Denise? You might be the issue here. Get out.
Mum, can't believe you're putting up with this.
Also, I love that Super Nanny is watching this on, like, what is this, like a CD-ROM player? I have never seen one of these in my entire life. Is this from the future? My lord.
You stop swinging it.
No, that's what you do with it.
Again, just saying that's like 2 points to Megan here. What else are you going to do with the yo-yo, love? Keep it still. That's not what it's made for. Starting to think Denise is the real issue here.
Go and do your homework.
But it's mine.
How are some children like this when they're so young? Like, how do they have just such funny responses? I remember, like, if I said anything that was out of the ordinary, my parents would be like, where have you learned that from? It's from that bastard school, isn't it? It's all from that school. As soon as you went there, you turned evil. I'm interested to see if the parents are to blame for Megan misbehaving so much.
They will fight because they all want the control.
Why are these children absolutely battering each other? It's like they're playing Money in the Bank on WWE. She literally full force just smacked her in the face with a weapon there. We're going to see at least 3 swanton bombs by the end of this episode. Denise tells us that Megan is so badly behaved that when they go on family day trips out, Denise doesn't go because she can't handle it in public. Which is crazy because she says that she doesn't leave the house with Megan unless she's dropping her off at school. She's like embarrassed to be seen out in public with her, which is actually really sad, and you're gonna see why further on in this episode. Super Nanny then arrives at the house in like a London cab with a private reg, which is pretty cold.
I'm on my way.
Sorry, like, how has she got a private reg on a taxi? That's outrageous. How much money do you need to have for that? That's unbelievable. She's kind of like a modern day Nanny McPhee, isn't she? She is literally like a real life Nanny McPhee. I wonder what happens when like she fixes the children, because obviously she doesn't have any warts.
All right, you can all answer it. Hello.
Oh my god, can you imagine that feeling of seeing Super Nanny turn up at your gaff as a child? Oh my lord, that must be a dark day. A very dark day indeed. I would be fucking fuming. I'd be straight upstairs on Xbox telling all my mates that I'm about to cause absolute carnage. Now, as soon as Super Nanny has entered the house, it is actually time for Denise to take the kids to school, and Megan just kicks off straight away.
Just give me the telephone, Megan, because you're really...
Bro, she just bit her. What in the Edward Cullen is going on right now? My lord, that is outrageous. Why has this child got so much anger inside of her? She's like Luis Suarez.
I haven't touched your docking.
Well, I gave it to you. You're supposed to touch it.
Oh my god, this is so sad for Denise. Like, these 3 kids just abuse her. Like, they have zero respect for her. I'm not too sure how it's got to this point. They don't treat her like that's a mum.
Come on, Erin, let's cross. Come on, Erin.
Well done, Mum.
I'm sure the mom's just left, like, the 2-year-old on the other side of the road. Just like, it's all right. If she gets hit, it's what she deserves.
That's
Quickly, Erin, there's a car coming now. What are you doing?
Oh my lord. Like, I feel bad for this mom because obviously she's very stressed and she has to like deal with these kids 24/7. But from an outside perspective, it's just so clear to see that like her methods of controlling her children just aren't right. I know that's so easy for me to say because I don't have children, but just this is me, like, not emotionally involved in this situation. Like, she's just constantly screaming at them and they never listen.
And it's quite obvious that the girls don't listen to Denise whatsoever.
Gabriella!
I mean, you know, if all else fails, at least you've got, like, an entire family that could compete in the UFC. Like, they're trained from the youth. Survival of the fittest in this household. You wake up, you get a fucking bonk on the head. The kids then arrive back home from school and they have their tea together and it's just absolute carnage. And this is where you can see that there's a clear divide between Denise and Paul. Like, their parenting methods are just completely different.
Would you say you have different parenting styles?
I would say you have. My tolerance is so long. Denise's tolerance seems to be more variable.
From his perspective, he probably thinks, oh, well, why do you not be, like, more chill with them? But she probably has to deal with them 24/7. Like, it was mentioned earlier that Paul goes to work and then comes back. So he's probably going to have a better fuse than Denise because he only has to deal with them for, like, 6-7 hours of the day when they're away.
On 3 strikes, you're out. And when you're out, you're out.
Sorry, what does that mean? When you're out, you're out. When you're out, right, just... there you go. You've had your 3 chances. Fucking get out, love. To the streets.
Just the logistics of 3 children, 3 breakfasts, 3 school uniforms. Just getting 3 children out the door is quite stressful. And Paul doesn't have to do that very often at all.
A little bit passive-aggressive. Oh, Paul said he's got a better fuse, has he? Well, he doesn't have to deal with them 24 hours of the day, that stupid fucking prick. Oh, he's not stressed, is he? Tell that to his hairline. It's like the fucking McDonald's sign it is. And I'm not loving it.
Because I feel very defensive, and I do, as I've said to you earlier, I feel like I failed.
It's not a case of failing.
I know it's not, but I feel that, Paul.
I think you can clearly see Paul doesn't seem that empathetic towards Denise. Like, when she's saying she feels like she's failed and he kind of just shuts her down straight away. Early on, you can kind of see the signs to why this family is absolutely broken. Moving on, Megan then goes on an absolute rampage when the family are sitting down chilling together.
But as soon as the curtains went up, it was game over.
I mean, the irony of telling someone to chill out when you're screaming and pulling on them is quite funny. Great work, Meg.
If things aren't going quite the right way or something's not quite working, Megan can get a little bit agitated.
No!
Spoiled it.
I haven't, it's my show, do I
I can't lie, like, Megan, like, she is pretty evil, but she's kind of iconic. I love that she's got a response to everything. I would despise her if she was my child, but, you know, just watching this from the comfort of my own home, I'm fucking loving it, I am. I don't know if Super Nanny is going to fix this child. I can't wait to see how she gets on.
Megan can be an angel and she can go to being a devil in a snap of the fingers.
Yeah, but you can say the same thing about an XL bully. Oh, when they're nice, they're nice. It's just when they turn and they kill everyone, you know. That's the only little thing about them. But don't worry, when Buttons is chill, she doesn't kill a fly.
Gabby, shut it down!
Megan was starting to get angry with...
Every single time you see Paul, he looks absolutely traumatised. It's like there's the lights are on, but no one's home. It's like he's had a lobotomy from Megan. Like, when he was asleep, Megan's just fucking cutting into him with a knife and fork.
Megan!
Shut up!
Please don't talk to me.
You tell me not to shout.
Don't,
You
Megan.
shout.
Again, kind of iconic from Megan. You don't want me to shout while you're shouting at me, love. Oof! If I had a mic now, I would drop it. Bitch.
What is it right now you are feeling?
I'm feeling hurt and sad that my 9-year-old daughter can treat me the way she is.
Like, even if this is, you know, the parents' fault for the way that, you know, the child might be acting, or if it's not, it still must be horrendous to go through. Like, obviously, especially with that being our first child, like, that would have been a really special moment to have, like, a first child and stuff. And I feel like it's much harder when you're in it because you're so emotionally involved and you've probably got, like, your shutters on, and it must be so hard to see, like, a way out. And sometimes I actually feel like it's a good thing to get someone like a Super Nanny in who isn't emotionally involved in the situation and can just think logically.
It's clear that the friction between Mum and Megan has just worn her down. There needs to be change, and I'm about to do that.
Oh, come on! Step 1, drop kick in the face. See how that turns out. No, I hope she doesn't do that. At least not on camera. I'll have to shut this video down. I just think Denise is kind of struggling, and I don't feel like, from what we've seen, Paul really gives her much support. Paul kind of just goes, I'm 3 strikes and then I just kill them. Super Nanny then sits down with Denise and Paul and kind of tells them where she thinks they're going wrong. By the way, imagine choosing this as your job, like going in and kind of like having to deal with kids screaming every single day. I mean, it would be rewarding, but my lord, can you imagine if you were like hungover and you had to shoot this? You'd be like, oh my god, somebody Shut that child up. She basically says to Denise that her kids have zero respect for her, which I bet she's buzzing to hear. She also says that the way that Denise kind of deals with Megan is all wrong, like she screams at her and then Megan screams back and they just get no further forward every single day. She also says that Denise hands out like meaningless like warnings without any punishment, and the kids know this, they know that they're never going to be punished, so why do they need to behave? I like this though. We need some punishment around here. Oh, you don't want to eat your vegetables, do you not? Do you not, Megan? You don't want to eat them, do you? Paul, get that cross built in the back garden. There's about to be some crucifixions around here, love. Punishment. That would be horrific, by the way, if there was crucifixions on Super Nanny. I don't really feel like that kind of fits the vibe of the show.
Paul, you're too scared to tell Denise really what's on your mind.
No, you're not wrong. Because if I explain how I feel, it'll get an adverse reaction.
It is ironic that Paul is more frightened of Denise than his own kids, which are like using UFC moves on them every single day.
I don't want to be this black cloud hanging over us.
I expect to be cloudy on off days, but it's having an umbrella to deal with it.
All right, Paul, that's the jokes. Right, that's my job. Thank you very much. Trying to take my job, are you? Sort your kids out before you start the town foolery. Town foolery? Toon foolery. Wait, how do you say that again? Is it toon foolery? Oh, I feel like I've had this before. Fuck! Is it toon foolery? Town foolery? I have no idea. I feel like I've had a lobotomy myself. Super Nanny then returns the next day and has a full set of rules for the family.
The first one says no yelling or shouting.
Oh my god, look at these. It's like the 10 Commandments. What have we got? No yelling, shouting, no hurting each other, no rude remarks, no backchat, look after each other's plus home belongings, no slamming doors, children to do as told, please and thank yous. Okay, so we're kind of just getting the basics here. In a lot of households, this kind of just goes without saying, but clearly we're just starting from the bottom and building these children up. I love it. The tide is going to turn. I feel like Megan is not going to listen to this. And shortly after, she doesn't. As Super Nanny then introduces like a princess chart, which basically like every single time one of the girls does something good, they move up the chart like closer to the castle where they get a reward. It's just like a little fun game that can kind of like make the kids more motivated to want to behave. But Megan just kicks off.
It's sissy stuff. That means it's baby.
Come and talk to me.
This child is just possessed by the devil. Like everything. She hates everything. Nothing is good in her book. Look at her, like the sass just chewing on an apple, just absolutely rinsing Super Nanny.
She wasn't having none of it.
Well, I think it's sissy stuff. Will that help?
It doesn't actually help if you're asking. That actually makes things 10 times worse for everybody but you involved, love. Super Nanny then tells Paul to put Megan in timeout, which is basically just in the dining room locked in by herself. It's kind of their version of solitary confinement, I guess.
And if she delivers a sorry, I want an apology properly.
Bro, why are they filming this as if it's like paranormal activity? Have they locked her in there with like a poltergeist? Oh my god, Super Nanny really is dark. Yes!
Say to her, look at me and say I'm sorry.
Look at me.
So that she knows, otherwise she won't know.
You need to look at me.
Oh my god, look at the devil in those eyes. I feel like she's going to attack Super Nanny. If I was Super Nanny, I would come in a riot shield because, oh my god, this child is not taking her eyes off her. And because Megan doesn't get her own way, she then full on tries to attack the Super Nanny.
Megan, no. No, we don't hit.
Yeah, I do.
I'm like stressed out watching this for Paul. Like if I was Paul in this situation, I would just like lose my shit. Like I feel like I'm a chill person, but if I'm dealing with a child that is trying to kill me and then I've got someone speaking to us as well, like I don't know, my ADHD would just kind of combust at that point. I'd need like a reflection room just for myself.
Can I say she's sorry or she's not?
Oh my god, it's just the fact that she's got her back to Super Nanny. This is going to be like The Voice, but in the worst possible way. As soon as Super Nanny opens her mouth again, she's going to turn around and attack her.
Okay, it's alright. It's okay. It's angry. This is Megan angry. Look, angry.
She's just like dragged her nails on Super Nanny's arms. Where did this kid learn these moves from? She's like a trained assassin. Do you know when they were shooting that movie Kick-Ass and they had Chloe Moretz as like Nicolas Cage's daughter? She could have played that role. She would have been more qualified for that role.
My friend thinks you're and so do I.
Oh, that's kind of cold. 3-0 Megan. What if our friend told her that in confidence though? Right, don't know if I can trust Megan with secrets, can we? Paul then left Megan in the reflection room by herself for 10 minutes and then he went back in to get an apology from her. And one thing I've noticed that Paul is really handling this better than Denise. Like, I know he said he has more patience and I thought that was because he doesn't spend as much time with them, but in reality he actually has a lot more patience and he kind of tries to implement the stuff that SuperNanny's telling them to do, whereas Denise kind of gets overwhelmed very quickly.
Megan.
Megan.
Calm down and listen to Daddy.
Not unless you get lost!
You would absolutely despise SuperNanny though, wouldn't you? Imagine, like, you're the queen of this house. Like, normally, whatever you do, like, everybody else just follows. And then this woman comes in and turns it all upside down. I'd be like, bitch, leave this establishment. At once. Take your short-sleeved burgundy top and fuck off. Oh my God, like, I don't even want to play the next part. Like, just look at this screenshot. Oh my God. Just quickly before we proceed with this video, make sure if you haven't already to press the subscribe button and join the donuts. Be a part of our community, this small corner of the internet, and you'll have loads of videos like this to binge watch when you're bored, and just press the fucking button, will you?
I know you're angry. I know you're angry, but listen to Daddy.
Like, you know when she bit her mum, I was like, okay, that's kind of horrific, but it's her mum. Now she's just biting strangers. We really need to put a muzzle on this woman, on this child, sorry. She's acting like she's like you know, one of those vampires in Twilight that are like newly vegetarian, and they just really want to eat people, but like they have to resist. This is what Megan's acting like.
You weren't here to begin with!
You know why I'm here with Daddy? Because I'm helping all of you. Because
You're not really helping. You won't really whip.
I know she's a trained professional, this SuperNanny, but like she just keeps her cool. I've never seen this woman raise her voice ever. This woman is permanently locked in an indoor voice. I love it. SuperNanny then shows her war wounds from having to deal with Megan.
And unfortunately, I've took the brunt off Megan.
Oh my God, I would go straight to the hospital just to make sure, you know, you haven't got rabies or something. Can you get rabies off adults, off kids, sorry? I'm not too sure.
But because it was the first time I was teaching that with Paul and with Denise, I felt it strongly that I should just ignore it.
Like, if this was me, I'd just be like, oh, I just need to, like, you know, get another job. Like, I'm just getting, like, attacked by children here. I just don't really feel like this is worth it, if I'm honest. She's kind of like the Gordon Ramsay for kids, though. You know, when Gordon Ramsay had that Kitchen Nightmare shows where he, like, goes into restaurants and tries to turn them around. She's basically that for children. I kind of rate it. SuperNanny then finds Denise crying in the bathroom. Denise is crying because she's just witnessed a child try and bite a random stranger that she doesn't even really know. It is mental. Like, imagine knowing that you've gave birth to the second coming of Chucky. That must be a tough pill to swallow. Paul then leaves Megan in the reflection room for 1 hour. So, I mean, that is a lot of reflection time. And then he finally goes in to get an apology from Megan.
I want an apology. Sorry. Didn't quite catch it. I'm going a bit there. Come on.
Sorry.
Way! Come on! Chuck Esme has a heart. Fantastic. The devil has feelings. Who would have thought? Hopefully, like, in the second half of this episode, we're going to see why Megan kind of acts this way. In my opinion, like, no child is really, like, born evil. It's just, like, how they've kind of grew up and how their hormones have kind of, like, reacted with the surroundings or influences they've had around them. So it is going to be interesting to see why she misbehaves so much. And again, Paul has actually acted really well in this situation, and he's kind of carrying the family through this kind of period. Now, you might be thinking, oh, this is great. This is like a turning point in the show. Megan's going to behave herself from now on. Well, you're wrong, because about 10 minutes later, she starts fucking going crazy again.
She pinched Gabriella.
I didn't pinch her.
Going
I
into...
hit her.
Bro, that's worse. Why would you admit that? I would just stick with the pinching. That's like less of a punishment. Nobody goes into court for like a speeding fine and goes, oh, well, fuck it, I did kill her. Like, what? You're not on trial for murder. World's worst criminal. This is the first time Denise kind of takes control and takes Megan to the reflection room. Denise then goes in and asks for an apology of Megan, and in my opinion, Megan kind of does it sarcastically, and then straight away, Denise kind of just accepts it, whereas Paul made her say it properly. And SuperNanny praises Denise for this, and I guess like this is like a big moment because she's never got like an apology off Megan. But I still feel like Megan doesn't have the most respect for her.
Megan, I want an apology. If you don't give me one, you're going to have to stay in.
See, I said it.
Come here, do you mean it?
It's like, that was so sarcastic. Why are you kissing her straight away? But I mean, Super Nanny seems to be buzzing with it, so I guess we'll just kind of move on.
I suddenly felt in control. I hadn't ever been in control of my children.
Why did you say that with like a beaming smile? I've never been in control of my kids. Oh, what they get up to in their spare time? What, they're going around killing hamsters? Well, I've never been in control of them, I haven't. Surprisingly, after this, Megan really locks in and like never misbehaves during the rest of the episode. I'm joking. She gets worse.
That behaviour's unacceptable. I don't like it when you pinch me.
Not
I don't like it.
Bro, do you know when they have them question times, like, and politicians debate each other? She would beat all of them, hands down, as a child. She has a response to everything. She is iconic.
Or pinch me. Or punch me.
Look at the way she's standing. This is so hilarious. It's like she's a footballer posing for like a photo shoot. She knows no fear. Super Nanny then says that Megan, instead of like blaming her parents now, is shifting her focus to the Super Nanny and kind of blaming her for how her life is turning so bad.
And it's called the household rules.
And Joe's part of the household at the moment, and she's helping us to put them in place.
Do you know who she kind of reminds me of? Do you know Veruca Salt out of Willy Wonka? She gives me the same vibes as her. She even looks a little bit like her.
You're making me cry.
Why am I making you cry?
Because you're being horrible to everyone, aren't you?
Do you know, like, obviously we can look at this and be like, wow, this kid is, like, evil. But it must be really stressful if you are used to, like, ruling this house and then someone comes and just kind of turns your life upside down, which is, like, how it should be. But when you're not used to this, especially as a child, this must be, like, so stressful.
Megan, would you like to talk to me about this?
No.
My God, can you imagine the status is just going to write on BBM about her? My Lord, she's about to drag her ass.
What she thinks is that I'm in the middle and creating this.
Are you listening?
I'm unsure if Super Nanny is actually going to be able to help this family, but I guess we've still got time, so let's see. It's now the next day, and Super Nanny returns with something called the Thought Box, and this is basically trying to help Megan, like, write down how she's feeling. She can put it in this box, and then later on, her mum and dad can read it, and it's like a way to kind of build a communication between the two. I think it's quite a good idea, because usually when they're kind of emotional, they just end up screaming at each other, Denise and Megan. So this kind of just brings a little bit of, like, calmness to them. And this is the first time I've seen Megan actually smile at the Super Nanny. It's quite a nice change from her attacking her and biting her like Edward Cullen. Every cloud has a silver lining and all.
Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, marvellous.
Kids are so funny. Like, you just give them a cardboard box and say it's called the Thought Box, and they're like, oh, this is fucking class. This is mint. Megan then gets told that she's going to go ice skating with just her and her mum, and her reaction is actually really interesting.
We went ice skating with Mummy this morning, just you and Mummy.
See, I feel like that's the first kind of indication we've got as to why Megan might be acting out. Like, the sheer joy in her face when she heard that she was doing an activity with just her and her mum is, like, crazy. She's obviously the oldest of the three children. Now, she probably requires the least amount of attention because she's the oldest, and obviously, like, babies just require more attention. So she probably started acting out so that her mum would kind of notice her more, and then obviously her mum's constantly telling her off. She kind of just likes that because at least she's getting more attention than what she was before. I feel like this is like a fitting explanation as to why Megan acts out. So Denise and Megan actually go ice skating, and Megan says that it's like one of the best days that she's ever had, which is really nice. She didn't attack anyone, she didn't rip her boots off and kind of scrape it against anyone's face.
Not only will Denise give her discipline, but that she can enjoy the pleasant times with her too.
That's actually so nice to see, because at the start of the episode we heard Denise say that she never does anything with Megan outside of the house because she's kind of embarrassed as to how she acts with her. So that's one huge improvement, finally. Super Nanny then introduces chores for the children, which I bet they're absolutely buzzing about. Stuff like cleaning out the hamster cage, and if they do it, they kind of rise up this princess chart closer to the castle. Again, imagine, like, you're in your house and you're used to just, like, ruling everything, you never have to do any chores, and then this random woman comes in and says you have to start doing cleaning and, like, cleaning hamster shit. I'd be scratching and biting her. I'd be like, get the fuck out, love. You're making her fucking eat the hamster poop. And after they finish doing this chore, they do rise up the princess chart and they seem like fully invested in it. It's almost like Super Nanny is a professional at a job. I feel like when I'm gonna have a child, I'm just gonna watch all of these episodes and just write everything down. Megan also gets her mum to read out a thought in a thought box.
I got to go ice skating, and I've never been in my life, so thank you. That is so special, darling.
This is crazy because this is the first time we've seen these two like show any love towards each other. Like usually it's like Thanos versus Captain America. Now look at them. I was about to say it's like Tommy Fury and Molly May, but I can't even say that now. Fuck! Thanks for nothing, random Macedonian woman. Super Nanny then leaves the family to see how they get on when they spend a week without her.
I feel confident in the techniques that we've got.
I know I'm going to be tested.
They're fucked, aren't they? Like, reality, let's be honest, they're absolutely fucked. It's gonna go exactly back to how it was. I guarantee it. Like, if I could put a bet on this, I don't even think I'd win me money back.
Don't shout at me, Meg.
To be fair to Denise, she is, like, not shouting back, but Megan is still responding horrifically. Like, she's trying, you can see, but it just doesn't seem to be working.
And she knows what buttons to push. And boy, is she pushing.
Here you go. Megan.
Did you see? She had to get one final dig in. She was like throwing the fucking pillows, throwing the blankets, so her sister was like, and you're fucking getting it. Oof! Get out. I'll be back for you. Don't you worry. Stay right there. Don't move. When I'm done reflecting, you're fucking getting more love. I don't know why she hates her sister so much. I wonder if it's because they're taking the attention away from her and her mum. Megan then continues to misbehave into the night. One thing you've got to give her credit for, at least she's consistent, right? She's just being herself constantly, which is great for the parents.
And she launches into a tantrum that lasts for hours.
You had your chance for your teeth and you didn't do it.
I obviously don't want to, like, diagnose kids, right? But I think there's definitely something going on with Megan as to why, like, she acts this way. Like, I don't feel like it's just down to behaviour. I feel like there's a clear, like, something just kind of, you know what I'm saying.
Keep calm and they will be calm.
You're not gonna go and, you know, your daughter's like absolutely Wreck-It Ralph in the house right now. You're not gonna go and do anything. Right, calm doesn't mean just sit down on the sofa with a cup of love, reading your clipboard. I actually think Megan might be worse than what she was before Super Nanny came. Hopefully they've still got that cross built in the back garden because I think we're gonna need it. Gotta exercise the demon out of this one. And throughout the entire week that Super Nanny is not here, Megan just misbehaves constantly.
You're going down.
All three girls by midweek start testing her patience.
Do you know, like, the government are working so hard on, you know, like, child prevention strategies, like, not, you know, helping people not have children so young, you know, like, contraception. If you want free contraception, just watch a series of Super Nanny. That'll sort you out. That'll make you wear a condom for the rest of your life. Because this is just insane. I never want to have children after watching this. I'm going to have to let Chloe know now. She's going to be devastated.
Okay, Meg, Gabriella, you're not going to have any friends home for the whole of next week.
Oh, no, I don't care because I hate my friends.
Well, that's fine.
Oh, see, there, I thought that she had her. Like, the kid was listening to her. She sat on the seat, she kind of quieted down, and then she, like, put a little dig in towards her, like, entice her. Like, saying, oh, well, you're not having your friends round. Like, obviously, she's going to fire back at that. Obviously, like, Denise is feeling, like, angry and wants to, like, make... I don't even know. Are you trying to make your child, like, cry? That was a weird thing to say to her, in my opinion. She kind of chilled down and she was sitting, as you had said. One thing, just to keep this, like, balanced, I will say Super Nanny does give them good tactics and, like, a little bit of a structure for the parents to follow, but it is much easier for the kids to be well behaved when Super Nanny is there. Like, Super Nanny is not there 24/7, and I feel like kids are just better behaved when there's a random stranger in the house. It's never gonna happen that as soon as Super Nanny leaves, the kids are gonna be perfect. Like, that's just not reality. It's also so much harder for the parents to put, like, a clear punishment strategy in place when they're used to not having any. It's easy for Super Nanny to do it because obviously she's not emotionally involved, but when these are your kids, it must be harder to kind of lay down the law.
You're free, you little...
Oh, Megan, why do you just start swinging, love? Just as soon as, like, there's any playtime, like, they have fun for about 5 seconds, then Megan goes, fuck this, fucking get in. There I can. Straight on the jaw. Absolutely, Anthony Joshua. Like, fucking jabbing her little sister for no reason. Like, that sister is so young and she's just smacking her about.
Denise has forgotten everything I've taught her about being calm.
Also, like, I'm pretty sure this house is semi-detached. Like, if you were their neighbours, you would absolutely despise this family. After watching this, Super Nanny then says, right, enough is enough, and she actually returns to the Cook household early to kind of sort everything out. It's ironic that this family are called the Cooks because everybody in this family just moves in their own way. And the parents are naive. There we go. There's a couple of puns for you. That's what you came for. It's free, this content, you know. I thought that Paul, like, absolutely drop-kicked her there. I thought he was like, fucking...
Could you strap yourself in?
No, I'm putting my shoes on.
Is it bad that I keep laughing? Like, if this was my child and she was responding to it like this every single time I told her just to do a basic task, yeah, I'd be angry, but it would be so hard not to laugh. Like, who made you this funny? I'm clearly not this funny. You've picked it up from that bloody school, haven't you? That's what you've done. Bastards. Super Nanny then, like, corrects the mistakes. Like, she says that Denise needs to, like, lower her tone and stop shouting at them. She also says that whenever you put them in timeout, it's got to be for 9 minutes, not, like, just making your own time up. It's, like, little changes she makes, but in my opinion, I don't really feel like this is going to have a lasting impact on the family. I feel like, again, when she leaves, they're probably going to go back to how they were at the start.
Can you do an American accent? No. Can you do an American accent? What's the matter?
Why? There wasn't even a reason at that point. She's just smacked her sister because she can't do an American accent. She can't win. What? You can't sound like you're from Texas, can you not? Fucking get out then. Useless. You're absolutely useless. What can you do?
You're going to be in the reflection room.
No, I'm not. I only got a bit angry.
I know you got a bit angry now. Hold on to the buggy and let's go home.
Mum's in control.
Go on, Denise, love. That's the first time I've seen her stay chill. And, like, Megan's responded by backing down. Come on. Come on. I was not familiar with your game, Denise. Super Nanny then gets some one-on-one time with Megan to speak to her directly.
But Mum doesn't shout as much now, does she? What about you? Do you think you're calmer now?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's even the fact that when she's speaking to her, she has to, like, do her nails at the same time, which kind of says to me, like, Megan needs constant, you know, like, mental stimulation. Like, if she couldn't just engage in a conversation, just kind of, like, one-on-one, she has to have something going on and then thinking about something to just fill up her mind so that it can kind of, like, calm her down. And I know how that would kind of feel, because I kind of struggle with that kind of thing. So it's good that the Super Nanny has kind of picked up on that. Super Nanny then says, like, her relationship with Megan has improved. I mean, it couldn't have got worse. She did take chunks out of your arm and try to take out your vital organs. The show then finishes with how the episode actually started. The three daughters put on a show for the family. And there isn't a single argument, which is an improvement from the first show, which is like watching the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I mean, I guess that is a little bit of an improvement, but I still don't, I think we're papering over cracks here. I don't feel like this family were really helped that much. I feel like Super Nanny gave them some good advice, but in reality, I don't know if this has really kind of impacted their life overall in a positive way. I'm gonna call this one a little bit of a failure. Now, obviously, this episode was, like, shot ages ago, so I wanted to see how Megan is doing now. Like, obviously, she'll be a lot older. And I've actually found a TikTok account which, like, bangs. If there was one thing that Megan was, it was entertaining. So, like, TikTok is the perfect format for her.
Got EastEnders on catch up on the TV. I've got a wash in, and I got a delivery. There is nothing better than coming back off a holiday with a delivery.
I'm surprised she didn't use her teeth to open that, right? And that's how I know, right? Change. People change for the better. Still iconic, even if she did, you know, try and take chunks out of people. She might be one of the most iconic characters I've ever seen in, like, a British TV show.
I'm not going to speak for everyone else who was part of the show, but for us, I don't think Joe really changed us. I think over a few years after Joe had visited, we grew up and the dynamics changed in our family, and that's made us behave better. Exactly.
That's what I thought. She was like, yeah, actually, Super Nanny wasn't so super. She couldn't tame me, right? Just saying. Right. I thought that. Like, I thought she would just need to grow up and kind of grow out of this phase where she hates her parents. I didn't think the Super Nanny had any real impact on that family, and it's coming from the horse's mouth here. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you would like to watch me break down another iconic British TV show, click this video right here, or watch me cover a recent drama that has been happening in the UK at the moment right here.